What's going on? It's the RapNerd, and I'm here today to talk about Guillermo Del Toro's Cabinets of Curiosity on Netflix. It's a horror anthology series, and before I even get into more thoughts about this, fire off the rip. I thoroughly enjoyed the series, loved every episode, and if you are into horror, this is definitely for you. And I love that it's an anthology horror series, so you don't really have to watch everything all at once. Each episode is its own contained story, and I really just dig shit like that, honestly. Especially me not being a huge TV guy, but stuff like this, I am all the way here for. And before I get into this series, I just want to talk a little bit about Del Toro himself. I don't really speak about him much on his channel or even tweet or talk about him, but he's somebody who I have a large infinity for. I love his work, I love his direction, his writing, his attention to detail. I love everything that he does. He inspires me. Again, his attention to detail in his stories, his characters, his designs for monsters. He is just such a sharp, keen eye in this genre of horror. And another thing that I love about him is his place within the movie industry. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when we have genre-specific directors, they don't get the same type of respect really as those who work outside the genre, who usually work in dramas or thrillers. But Del Toro is one guy that, regardless of what genre, what peer, he is a legend, and he's looked at like that, and it just says a lot for somebody to be in this genre of horror, my favorite, and get so much respect because of the art that they put out. So had to say that about him, giving him his flowers now, and not to say that this just made me do it, but I just haven't spoken about him on this channel, and I want y'all to know that I have an affinity for the guy, honestly. Still, don't really know what my favorite movie is from him. If I had to choose, I'm going to come back to that. I don't know, because there's so many that I enjoy. I mean, the Hellboy series are the first ones that really brought me into who he was, and I was like, holy shit. And then him doing Blade 2 and Pacific Rim, come on. He slaps. I just love that he's in this position to give other writers and directors this look. For him to pick these writers and directors to do these stories, some of which he wrote himself, some he just picked and plucked because he liked their ideas or just liked the way they shoot. It's a really, really good look, man. So I just gotta shout him out for also giving this opportunity to so many people. Now, back to the series, Cabinets of Curiosity. I really enjoy this series a lot, man. I love it, honestly. I can go that far to say that I love it. Yes, I'm a loving ass person. I love how he kind of walks out of the dark, and he has this castle already sitting there. It's like a prop, and he just kind of gives a brief synopsis about what the story we're about to see is, and he presses these little buttons and compartments open up on the house. So unique, man. I really love the presentation of that and the set design. And I also really love a small detail he says when he's like, tonight's story is blah, blah, blah. He says that for every episode. And I just feel like it's one of those things that it's a small detail that brings you into primetime TV. Kind of like, it reminds me of the Twilight series where, these episodes aired at night, and you just kind of get that feeling of wanting to, cuddle up on the couch, get your popcorn, and just watch what's on. And this whole series is like that, man. Even better if it's on a gloomy day or even if you watch it at night. But just such a small detail like that is so reminiscent of seeing the Twilight Zone, and even, a little bit of Goosebumps too, because there were some episodes of the old Goosebumps where R.L. Stine would actually talk before the show would start. And it just brings me back to both of those things as a kid, and it just feels like an adult version of the culmination of both for me. Since this is an anthology horror TV show, I'm not going to go in detail or really talk about what the episodes are about, because I think it's best to go in fresh, not knowing anything, because each episode takes it there. I mean, if you watch the first episode, it already sets the tone for how the show is going to be. In the first episode, I'll give a little backstory about. It's this war veteran who goes to, not an estate sale, I forgot what it's called, but when somebody owns a storage lot, there we go, and somebody passes and somebody else buys it, or if somebody doesn't, pay their lease, they get everything, put out and people can buy the lot. So this guy who's, an army veteran, he ends up buying this specific lot that went up for sale because the owner, or, the person who leased it didn't pay the lease, and he ends up buying it, and the lady who owned the lot comes back to him like, hey, can I just get my stuff from out of there? It wasn't supposed to be sold. And they just paint the picture of this veteran being such an asshole, Americana type guy. I forgot the actor's name, but he's familiar. I like, he played Looking Glass and Watchmen in a number of different roles. That's just the specific one that I've seen him in recently. But he plays this Americana asshole, and he ends up like just giving her a hard time, and he ends up finding some treasure, like I guess these books that are very expensive within that lot. And let's just say from there, when you watch that episode, you already know, you're gonna know off bat if this series is for you or not. And when I saw that, I was like, yep, this is for me, and I'm watching this whole thing. There's 8 episodes. You know, they range from about 40 minutes to an hour each, some shorter than others. And I think every episode is quality. There's not one episode in here that drops a tier in quality. They're all fantastic looking shows. They're all written well. They're all designed well. I mean, these don't even look like TV shows. They look like mini movies. And that's what I love most. Some are more heart-wrenching than others, and some are just straight up have you scratch your head like, what is going on? Great talent all across the board, from the actors performing, and you'll see some familiar faces in regards to actors in each show, and it's, I mean, it's, you gotta see it to actually just take in what this show is. And I really hope that we get more seasons, because it does say on this season in the first episode. And of course it's all on the viewership, so God, please, everybody go out here and watch this series. I thought it was amazing. Again, every episode is something that you can latch on to. There's a different genre for each episode, but it all kind of is under this umbrella of creature feature / entity. So it never skimps on the horror, I'll tell you that. It's all 100% horror. There are no fake outs. The fear is real, and in different ways that you probably won't even see coming. Like, there's one episode in particular that left me with my jaw on the floor. Well, a few of them actually. So I'm not gonna say what they are. I will say that my favorite episode, I really enjoyed The Viewing. That one was shot incredibly. Oh my God, it was just, the cinematography in that one was easily the best out of all of them for me. And maybe not say best, but it was the most eye-catching out of all. And because there's another episode after it called The Murmuring that I think is shot gorgeously as well. I mean, both of those to me are the best looking of this whole series. And so I don't know which one. I know The Murmuring is one of my favorites. I really liked the Gravedigger episode. That was really good. And the first episode, like, I think it's called Lot 9, I believe. Lot 9 or 6, I forgot. But I think those 3 are my favorites of the bunch. But like I said, they all work. And if one doesn't work for you, I can guarantee you another one will. So if you are familiar with Del Toro's work, as you know, he produces a lot. He executive produces a lot. And whenever I see his name, I'm like, I'm checking that out. And this is yet another project to his name that is worth a watch, and you will enjoy. Even though spooky season is over, doesn't matter. This is not Halloween centric. It's just horror. If you're a horror fan, this is the series for you. So let me know in the comments if you've seen this series, which is your favorite episode. Be respectful in the comments, and if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. And until next time, peace. RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy.